sports fans. Apologies for the background noise. My heat is on. It's that time of year, once again. Close, and too close to it anyways, where the heat is pretty much like constantly on here in the great upper Midwest. Alright, so I thought I would continue with my basketball. Oh, Jesus Christmas, I almost knocked this phone off the stand, but I thought I would, this is the remainder of the right side of that shoebox of cards. So I've got my little microfiber wipe here from this package, and I've got my pack of sleeves, several packs of sleeves, and I've got my stack of cards here. This one has a giant fingerprint on it. I should have washed my hands. Oh well, TJ leaf, I can live with that. So I've got some bubble gum here. Alright, so today is Monday, and I'm gonna post this as soon as I get it uploaded, which should be Monday. Anyways, yesterday, I'm gonna start working here while I babble. Yesterday I put the finishing touches on my e-commerce site. Well, at least I guess my initial e-commerce site. I imagine I'll, evolve it. But it is now live. Man, what the hell? I get these things upside down. It's now live with, I guess, the initial batch of content. I'm a lot slower sleeving when I have to work around this camera, which is why I'll probably maybe get one of these stacks done and not all of them, but I thought I'd be ambitious. So yeah, long story short is head on over to hotcardboard.com and you will see my site, and I've got, a decent amount of stuff up there right now. Pretty much all I have is modern wax that is not, in sealed cases, or that I have at least some that's not in sealed cases. And my pricing philosophy basically is to look at what Blowout does and knock $10 off a box price. I guess it's a little bit more for higher price boxes that I'm knocking off, but anyways, that's kind of what I'm doing. So if you were going to buy from Blowout or Dave and Adam's Card World, you will save a little bit off that, and you'll help your favorite ASMR artist. What I'd like to do in the near future is some kind of sales, maybe on specific items. Some stuff I have a ton of. I totally over-ordered 2020 Topps flagship baseball, so I have oodles of Series 1 and Series 2. I will not have oodles of Update. I will have a little bit, most likely, but from what anybody can tell, that stuff is going to suck. And that's because the deadline, the print deadline for Topps to complete that set is relatively early in the season. So, it's relatively early in the year because the releases are still tied to the calendar year, even though the baseball season got shifted majorly, back in time. So if, the cutoff for getting into the 2020 Topps Update flagship set is the date that it normally is, there's going to be nobody in there, but hopefully they got at least a few rookies from 2020 in there. But I think a lot of people are speculating they're not, and they're assuming that most of the rookies are going to be in 2021 Topps, which is going to make those products bonkers because there's so many good rookies that got 2020 call-ups, and that probably will never be heard of again. After we go back to regular baseball next year, hopefully. Anyway, so I have a lot of 2020 Topps, and Series 1 and 2, and Series 2 is kind of a dud of a product, is kind of riding or dying based on Louis Robert, and he's been in a pretty big slump lately, so I'm not super excited about holding like a ton of that. I might do a little fire sale, a little clearance action on it. We'll see. A lot of that stuff I got relatively cheap because I like pre-ordered at a decent price, and then I got some off like Tops.com too when it came out on their site, and you know they usually charge a normal price, like a decent price, like something you would have paid before everything quintupled in price. Although lately Tops has been getting in the panini game of like putting boxes up for like super inflated aftermarket prices. I can't remember what they did that for, but they did it recently. So anyways, go check out this site. If you're brave, be my first or second or third customer, and hopefully it works. I don't know. I didn't really like test it out with like a purchase. I think you can actually do that, but I haven't done it. So if you want to be my guinea pig, please order something small. So right now I have the shipping set up where it's like free shipping if you order 150 or more. And I can't even remember what I did for the shipping under that, but I think I was thinking like it was going to be a flat rate shipping under that, like $7 or something to ship anything under 150. I'll have to look into that. Maybe it's $9.95. I don't remember what I did, but that's the plan, is to have kind of just, you know, X dollars for any shipping under a purchase under $150. And frankly, there's not a lot that's under $150 because it's mostly, you know, sealed boxes. I mean, there's some stuff like Tops Big League, you know, which is like $30 a box or something, $40 a box. And I do have, you know, so the other thing I've talked about previously is trying to put more like, you know, packs or like 3 or 5 pack lots up. And I would like to do that. And I hope that people can trust, you know, those packs are going to be from unpicked boxes, sealed boxes. Obviously, you only have my word for that, but that's kind of the idea, is that if you can trust where you're getting these packs from, then it makes it, you know, relatively safe to buy them online. Although even if you buy packs like from a shop, like you don't know what the hell they were doing before you walked in there, so you kind of have to trust whoever you're buying from. But in any event, I don't have really many modern, or I guess I don't have any modern packs. I really want to not touch that with my fingerprints. You can't see it because it's off camera, but it's a nice shiny chrome pink something. By the way, I got to talk basketball, some big news here. Yeah, so what I was going to say is, if you see a product that you'd like to buy like 3 or 5 packs or maybe 10 packs of, let me know, and I will kind of, you know, put packs up of those products first if I get requests. So you can email me at info@hotcardboard.com, or you can leave a comment here, and I do read all comments, so I will see it if you post it here. And I'll try to get up what I can. Some stuff I might not want to open. Like, I'm probably not going to crack any 1819 Prism boxes. Actually, I don't know if I have any of those listed, but if I did, I wouldn't want to crack those because that's a pretty big gamble. That I would be able to sell all those packs, and as a box, it's quite sellable. By the way, Og Anunoby, I think, is one of those guys, if he's still on the Raptors, that I feel like had a decent postseason, but I can't remember, and I've been meaning to look it up. I've got some better cards of his. All the cards that are in these stacks are kind of, you know, really lower end rookies, guys that really are not worth, you know, listing, because they're just not worth anything more than like a $50 50 cents or something, or $1. But, you know, you never know who's going to be the next bull and have their cards spike in value. That's why I'm sleeving all these guys up so they're ready to go. Alright, so speaking of basketball, wow, okay, so last night was the final game of the, I gotta get that dust out of there, it's gonna drive me bonkers, of the Celtics Heat series. And unfortunately unfortunately if you're a Celtics fan, I was rooting for the Celtics, but I don't mind the Heat actually. They've got some good talent on there for sure. We'll talk a little bit about, but yeah, the Heat are going to the finals along with the Lakers. So we've got ourselves a championship game series in the NBA. I was frankly pretty disappointed with Jason Tatum. I gotta say, I'm not really like a Jason Tatum fan at this point because I know I'm a fair weather fan. What can I tell you? I don't know. I was not a fan of him or the Celtics all that much before the playoffs. But like once the team that I wanted to win, which was the Mavericks, once they got eliminated, I was like, okay, who am I gonna root for? And it was like, okay, well, I like the idea of, you know, a bright third-year star in Jason Tatum leading a team like the Celtics to a finals. I think that would be cool. A cool story, a fun kind of follow for the hobby. I believe these red and yellows were exclusive in mega boxes of Optic, which is a retail thing that I think I have a bunch of. These are 1718. Alright, sorry about that. I had a little interruption at the house I had to deal with. So back at it. I have no idea what I was talking about. I think I was talking about maybe the basketball playoffs. So, man, these past and present cards are hard to get into sleeves because they're so thick. Alright, so yeah, so it's it can be the Lakers and the Heat. And I was pretty disappointed with Jason Tatum. Not that I was like, you know, planning to collect a ton of his stuff, although I did pick up a few of his cards. I got like I think a BGS 9.5. Let's see. I was looking through my cards right next to me and seeing if I can find it, but I don't think I have it right there. But yeah, I got like an Optic rookie of his, and I picked up like some ungraded stuff of his actually like last fall when the regular season was ongoing. I think that was when. And those are pretty good pickups. They weren't unfortunately they weren't in like gym mint condition, so I couldn't really grade them. But anyways, yeah. So the Heat are an interesting team. They got Bam Adebayo, who's a pretty bright young star, same draft class as Jason Tatum. These are some mosaic cards. This is what Prism Mosaic used to be. It's like a kind of an offshoot of Prism rather than its own thing. And these are from, I think, these are 1718. I got these from those, Blowout does those things like around the holidays where they sell like boxes of, you know, hobby packs. They're kind of, you know, like grab bag kind of things. They're all unopened packs. And there was some mosaic packs in there, and I had never really opened any of this stuff before that. So they're pretty cool looking. Alright, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Heat. So they got Adebayo. By the way, I just sold that Prism rookie card that I got out of the box I opened on this channel. Like right last night when after the Heat clinched their playoff or their finals berth. So I imagine that means his stuff is up. I had mine priced at kind of, pretty much what other raw cards were going for. So there's a beautiful looking card right here, but who the hell knows who Rashad Vaughn is? Is he still playing? Anybody tell me? From 15-16. This is not a numbered card, so it's not a particularly rare, even though it's orange, and a lot of times orange is pretty rare parallel in all kinds of sports cards, especially baseball. So yeah, so the Heat got, they also have Jimmy Butler. They got Jimmy Butler, who's, been around the league for a long time. And, at points in his career was definitely considered a pretty major superstar. Nowadays, he's kind of, I think he's kind of more like a, like what's the word? Sort of a trustworthy veteran. But boy, I've been impressed with him. I've never really watched any of the teams that he's been on. Not that I've watched a whole lot of basketball generally, but I've never really seen him play. And obviously he's older now than, he was in his prime. But I don't know. He seems like a real. I like his game a lot. It's a game that honestly I don't see pulled off all that well in these playoffs, which is, a guy who drives to the hoop fairly frequently and puts up like, mid-range jumpers with very high percentage shooting. And I'm just like, I think that's very reassuring to me. LeBron James is like that too. Obviously, he's got a skill set that is unmatched by many. And he's just so athletic at his age. It's crazy. But, let's talk about the Celtics and Jason Tatum. Like, I was really hoping he was the guy that, would just drive to the hoop, like, a lot in the game and hit, like, a ton of his shots, like, either at the hoop or just a little bit out, But, like, he opened up that sixth game. That's a good name for a basketball player, Jalen Hands. But Jason Tatum, like, started out the game 6, 1 for 10, for F's sake. Like, what are you doing, guy? Can you miss that much? And I must be a curse to Jason Tatum, because I don't think I've ever seen the guy score in my life. Okay, that's not true, but I swear to God, I routinely, like, watch, like 10 or 15 minutes of a game, of which he plays, I don't know, like, half of that or more. And the guy, like, frickin' shoots 10% during that time I'm watching. And I'm like, God, does he ever score? But, he's got like 20 points in the game, so I know he's not, always missing. And I don't know. Man. I mean, I'm sure he'll get better, but I just felt like, when the game was on the line, is that guy gonna save your ass? The answer is no, this series anyways, but they did make it obviously pretty far, and he did have a really good regular season, so maybe he'll just do better and better, and like by the time the next playoffs roll around, he's like a different level of player, and he's that kind of guy who can really put the game, take the game in his hands and score a nice mid-range field goal or a drive to the hoop when you've just got to have 2 points. It's funny, I never really watched basketball when, in the 80s when the legends, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Jordan were playing, but I've seen enough highlights to realize that those guys were basically the type of player that if you needed to score, they were going to frickin' score, or they were going to die trying. got anything close to a path to the hoop, they were going to score. And, you know, and that was at a time when, boy, I'm just waxing all sorts of poetic, guys, sorry. I guess I'm waxing philosophic. But, that weird humming noise in the background is my washer. It's like coming off a very fast cycle. But, you know, back then in the 80s, oh my god, like the officiating was just so different, and like what they permitted to happen with like fouls was so much more than now. I swear to god, there were like 15 fouls I saw in last night's game that were like the ref like just sort of took a wild guess at whether a hand of the defender like touched the shooter at some point during the play, and like half the time they were wrong, and the other half they maybe like touched a finger, you know, at some point that didn't even really impact the shot. Back, you know, and like back in the day, man, you could get like your frickin' wallet taken from you and thrown into a dungeon for 6 weeks, and they might not call a foul on you. I mean, of course, I'm sure they called some light fouls too, but like just there was so much more of a physical aspect to the game of basketball back in the 80s as compared to now, and that's what Jordan had to deal with, you know, when he was in the playoffs and trying to score on command, and he had to do plenty of that. So you just gotta think, this is why a lot of people, I'm not necessarily gonna agree with these people, but a lot of people, you know, think that like if the, you know, super good guys from today's game, like LeBron James, had to play in the environment that Jordan and Bird and Johnson and even guys like Isaiah Thomas, although he was on one of the teams that was particularly notorious for being like total roughhousers. But anyways, people think that if getting some nice Prism rookies here, if LeBron had to play with that kind of defense and that kind of like refereeing, you know, maybe he would do as well as Jordan, but you know, he didn't have to, is the point. And so if nothing else, Jordan had a much harder time doing what he did compared to LeBron or any modern players, in my view. And so for some people, that makes them feel like Jordan was just a much better player because he had a much more difficult environment to play in, and he still won 6 frackin' championships and like 1 million MVPs and scored a bazillion points, you know, while there was guys like frickin' clotheslining him on the reg, and every pretty much shot you took was like contested super heavily. At least in a playoff situation. I don't know what the hell went on during the regular season. I'm sure it was ugly too, but this is like a thick card that I'm going to have a hell of a time getting in. I don't have a scissors here. I wonder if this is like sharp enough that I could actually cut this. I doubt it. It sounds like an ad for a sharp blade. Nope. Although I've seen people, what they do is they just kind of give a little bit of a cut there. There. Yeah. We'll see if that works. I have my doubts. Let's see. Dylan Windler. It looks like that edge got a little, that corner got a little molested, but that's right, the odds of Dylan Windler doing anything are very low, so that's probably not going to be a problem. There's a nice silver prism out of Prism Draft from 2019. I've opened like just, I think, some blaster boxes. You know, I have some blaster boxes of that left. Might be kind of fun to get into. I was looking around for something to open for this video, and I'm kind of at that point where I just don't have a lot that I want to, like, you know, sacrifice to the ASMR gods to open, you know, because it's just, everything's so expensive and valuable. You hate to, you know, open it if you don't have to. So I don't know. So I saw this box was still sitting on my desk here that I record at. So I said, you know what, I really want to get through that box. So let me just bust on through that, so here we are. But I will say, if I was going to open something, I guess the other struggle I have, which I've talked about before, by the way, I spit my gum out here before re-recording, so we'll do the rest of this without gum. But I was gonna say the other thing that sort of stymies my like availability of content for this channel is I don't really want to like bust open into like unopened cases if I don't have to, because there's a little bit of a premium on an unopened case of product, and plus I just think it would be easier to sell than if I had like 10 out of the 12 boxes unopened in a case and trying to get rid of all that in one fell swoop. A case you can get rid of pretty easily, be it on eBay or on you know, some of the channels that you have available to you if you're a quote-unquote dealer. Grant Williams had a little bit of playing time last night. He's definitely a bench kind of role player, like he's like the sort of backup big guy. Comes in when the main big guy, Thies, gets like in foul trouble. Anyways, yeah, so I'm not super excited about cracking a ton of cases open to like get a single box out, but you know, if I start selling a bunch of stuff on my new e-commerce site, then I will be more willing to bust those cases, because then I, you know, have an easy place to sell the remaining boxes. But it remains to be seen whether I'm gonna sell anything at all on the channel. I guess you guys will decide, and then maybe if I get an audience somewhere else. But yeah, you know, I might sell like nothing and decide to just take it down if I don't, and that's fine. I can live with that. You know, my main goal with my e-commerce site is not to like, you know, start a career as a sports card dealer. It's more to have a place to, you know, to sell like stuff that I've accumulated without paying god-awful eBay fees. You know, if I have people that want to buy stuff from me and I know them outside of eBay. So that would be like you all, or people who look at my other channel that's very ignored right now. That's the Sports Card Show. Hope to have some videos up soon. Thanks for people who've been asking about that. I do feel badly I've let that go. I got a sweet, oh wow, I didn't even know I had that Dante DiVincenzo coming up. You know, it's funny. I got this card right here, which I forgot about. And then I got this card here, which I was looking at earlier when I was collecting this box of stuff. But Dante is one of those guys that, you know, the Bucks obviously were in the playoffs. Gosh, that's a pretty nice looking card. I'm going to throw that into my top to bottom. Centering's a little bit off, but that's not so much important as left to right, which looks better. I'm going to throw that in my possible grade pile along with this nice, oh, that's the sweet sound of eBay. You know that if you sell on eBay. I think that means like I got a message or I got an offer. Man, take that off there. Sorry, should show what I'm doing, which is just wiping the crap off this. Just like still crap on here. Yeah, it's got some little nicks on the surface, so it's not going to grade. Man, cards get damaged so easily, I swear to God. Anyways, if he does well, those are super nice cards right there. That blue and the silver prism. I guess they call that a hollow, which makes no sense whatsoever to me, but optic's gonna optic, you guys. Alright, I don't know what I was saying. Something about being a dealer. So, I have coming to me a few, like, one box quantity deliveries of some newer stuff. I don't know why I started pulling off that pile. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's Robert Williams III. I thought it was that, what's his name? Grant Williams. Is that the guy I was just talking about? For the Celtics. Did I lose him? Lost him. so I got from my distributor, I got a package coming. Might be here today even. I really like these blue lasers. I'm actually trying to get one of these of Luka, just because I think blue cards of him are cool looking, because, you know, his team colors are blue. So I want to get a PSA 9, because I don't really want to spend the money on a PSA 10. But by the way, I'm starting to buy up like Luka's right now. I think he's a no-brain buy. I'm not sure where these blue lasers come from. I feel like it's got to be some kind of retail product, because they're like not numbered, which often means retail. Yeah, so I'm buying up Luka's. I'm pretty bullish on him. I mean, I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna, like, you know, do gangbusters in the regular season. People are gonna get super excited. Hopefully the Mavs will add somebody to their team that will, you know, join the mix. I mean, frankly, if Porzingis could stay uninjured during the playoffs, I think the Mavs go a lot further than they did. If they have both Luka and Porzingis at the same time. So I'm pretty bullish on the Mavs and on Luka for next year, and I'm starting to pick up some of his stuff because, you know, everything in basketball really has dropped if the players are not in the playoffs. Even the guys who are in the playoffs, like LeBron, like their stuff has been dropping. It's a nice what do they call that? Courtside. I think it's a parallel in the actually it's not a parallel, because like it has its own number that's different than other cards, but it's basically an SP card in the set, and I think there's like one or two per box, per like hobby box. So if you get one of those of a good player, it's generally a pretty good card. Love me some Select, boy. It's been a long time since I've opened a Select hobby box, because so expensive. But I love Select. Just so packed with awesome parallels and rookies, man. I miss it. You know, this year they had a bunch of different types of Select products. They had like hybrid. They had, what was that, like that Chinese market one, I forget what they call that. This is all 2018-19 from Luka days. But yeah, all the different like sort of variations of the Select products this year were kind of duds, in my view. Didn't have a ton, although, you know, I did get some pretty sweet cards out of the hybrid box. I got like I think I got 3 like really nice Ja Morant rookies out of the hybrid box, the first hybrid box that I opened of 2019 Select. And then like I think I opened another one and I got another like really sweet numbered Ja, might have been auto. Can't remember. They're often grading or something like that right now. And by the way, Ja Morant is another guy that I think is one of the very few that I'm gonna try to build my stash of in the off season. So I think it's like Luka, Ja, probably Giannis. I think I'm gonna buy 2. I've already started to buy him. I bought one of his Prism rookies, PSA 9. Which I think is already like lower priced than what I bought it, and that's fine. I'm happy to like dollar cost average and just sort of buy over a period of time. And you know, some of those will be cheaper than others. But I think once the season is totally done, things are gonna start going down even more on NBA, and that's fine. You know, I'm picking up, so right now, I'll tell you just an example of what I'm doing. So for Luka's, I'm picking up Prism rookies, 2018-19 Prism rookies, and I'm buying PSA 9s, and pretty consistently those are going for about $400. I picked up one for like $395. And I think I saw some end for maybe like $390, but some are still going for over $400, so it really just depends on the auction. So I'm trying to pick up as many as I can, of those for about $400. And, they may go down to $350, right? But they might not. I think a lot of people might be waiting to buy a bunch of stuff, basketball-wise, and if everybody kind of jumps in at the same time, then prices are going to go up, and they may not come down until, something bad happens to that player during the season, like they suck or they get injured or whatever else. So that's kind of what I'm doing for Luka, and then I'm starting to look at like some of the parallels of that card. I don't really want any of the like, super rare, like numbered parallels to like 99. Those are just like thousands of dollars, and I'm going to spend thousands of dollars on Luka, but for whatever reason, my philosophy, I'm not sure it's a philosophy, but whatever my sort of buying habits have always been like quantity over quality. And some people probably think that's like a really bad idea. And if you're looking for like minimizing your storage space, you are absolutely correct. That's a horrible idea. And my collection shows it. It's very large. I take up a lot of space with my unopened stuff. But I could buy a case of 87 Fleer basketball, and get rid of like all of my other stuff, and then my storage would be drastically decreased. But I don't know, I've always just felt like inherently like safety in numbers. Like if I have more stuff, especially if it can be like, the thing is, if you buy one thing like that, you're not diversified at all. And if you buy a case of 87 Fleer basketball, I think the odds of it going down are very low. So you don't really have to worry too much, but it could happen. It could happen for sure. But I have like whatever, probably like 200 or 300 different types of unopened boxes in my collection. The odds of any one of them going down are, relatively low. And or the odds of like all of them going down are like none, pretty much. The entire market does go down for like NBA, but then I've got football boxes and they're all going up. And like, so, if you have all the sports, you're pretty diversified. If you have a lot of stuff as opposed to just a few super valuable things. But I don't know, like with singles, I'm starting to like really dislike having so many around, and I'd rather just kind of have everything like PSA graded and have it be, relatively decent cards. So anyways, as applies to Luka rookies, there really is no like, super cheap stuff that I can go buy 1,000 of them. But if right now, between the choice of buying, like for example 10 PSA 9 Lukas for $400 a piece, and buying one like numbered, sorry, my cards are so thick, the stack is so high, it's like starting to tip over. So I'm gonna take a minute and put these back in the box. But as between buying like 10 Luka rookies at 400 piece and buying one numbered rookie that's worth 4,000, I generally am gonna do the former and get the more cards for less dollars each. And a lot of people think that's kind of a stupid philosophy because, then you've got to sell like 10 cards instead of one if you want to liquidate your investment. And, that's perfectly valid, logical reason. But for me, I just, for collecting reasons, I just love to look at, like, I would rather own and look at 10 cards worth $400 a piece than one card worth $4,000, at least in a lot of cases. Sometimes, like, you just really want to have that $4,000 card. Like with my Babe Ruth card from 1928, like, there really aren't any cheaper versions. In fact, what I have is the cheap version, because it's like a PSA authentic graded card, but there's nothing like what I have worth probably $4,000 right now, maybe more. I don't know. I haven't looked up any of my vintage stuff recently, so you know, that's an example where I just got to spend $4,000 now. Maybe I guess the alternative to buying that card and 10 others like it is to buy one card that's worth $40,000. So I don't know. And for a lot of people, buying a single $400 card is like, insanity. There was a time in my life where this whole like quantity over quality thing meant that like I never bought singles because I would always rather buy this nice Kemba Walker. Unfortunately, he was on the Celtics that got eliminated. But had a really good series, I think. That's what I will say is the guys that really impressed me on the Celtics are like Kemba Walker and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, even to an extent. I mean, he's not like a big like scoring guy. Like he's really sort of like I don't know. He's just, I don't know what his like sort of role is with the team exactly. I mean, he's a smaller guy, but like he's just a real hustler. Just fights for every possession. I love that guy. Anyways, so yeah, for a lot of people, spending $400 on a card like is insanity, and that's like way too much for a single card. And I used to be a guy that would never, ever buy singles. I would always buy wax and just open it, and that's where I would get my cards. And I'd rather have a box of, wax that's got 200 cards in it than, go and buy the one card that I want out of there for whatever, like 10 times the box price, right? I would always, because then I'm gonna get more cards. But you can see, if I don't like having so many singles around, that's not a great strategy. So I'm cutting the sleeve here. I can put this Badotze in. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just babbling here. Sorry guys, but I have strange things in my head that determine what and like how I collect. But everybody has that. Everybody has silly things. Some people are super collectors of like just goofballs like Jose Canseco, or some team that's like a favorite. That's some guy that's on a team that's local to them, and they just love that guy, and they love his play style of play, and so they want to like super collect that guy, and maybe they want to buy as many $1 rookie cards of that guy as possible. That's the beauty of collecting. There's just a million ways to do it, and everybody has something that they think they can get excited about, and what's exciting for me is not going to be exciting for other people, and that's good, because otherwise we'd all run up the prices on everything. Bunch of 12, 13 cards here. It's not a bad card. I think Nikola Vukovic. Who's he playing for? Is he? God, I feel like I saw him on the Heat. No, it's like Dragovic or something, like some Vich is on the Heat, I believe. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the rookie year of Chris Middleton, and I think I got like an autograph card of him I dug up somewhere, which was cool. He was a guy that was pretty prominent in the Bucks playoff series. Another one of those sort of role players that really kind of had to shine, and did a pretty good job of it. Markieff Morris, I believe he's playing with somebody now that is was in the playoffs. God, who was that? It's funny, names are familiar to me when I see them, but like these are all cards that are old enough that the team the player is with is not who they're with now, and so like I can't figure out. Maybe it's Marcus Morris I'm thinking of, not Markieff. Y'all will tell me, and I appreciate it. So yeah, like a lot of these guys who aren't playing now, I have no idea who they are because I just didn't collect back then. I opened these boxes of 12 and 13 stuff like in the last year or so. This is the 2014. This is the box that I got my Giannis rookie that graded PSA 10. Man, that was, when I got that back, it was worth like $1,000 because the Bucks were still in the playoffs. But I'm sure that thing is down to like $700, $800 right now. Steven Adams. He's got a beard right now. You wouldn't recognize him. I have a case each of 12, 13 Panini and 13, 14 Panini, so those have all the fun rookies from those years in them, and that's another kind of example of boxes I might like to open a box of, or cases I might like to open a box of, but you know, I'm not excited about cracking it just for the getting one box to open, because those things would be a lot easier to sell as cases. There's my washing machine telling me it's done. So I'm going to get through this pile, and there's one small one behind it, and then I'm going to wrap this up because I got to go and Anthony Simons is a good young player. Kind of funny how these NBA hoops cards like used to be just trash, but like the Giannis rookie from 2012 of hoops in PSA 10 is like, I don't know what, I think right now it's like $800 or $900, but like it was like $1,400 at one point. So people were like, oh god, no, hoops is valuable, I gotta go buy all the hoops rookie cards of major guys. PSA 10, everything else went up. I think the Luka hoops rookie is fairly valuable. It's definitely not as valuable as like the Prism and the major stuff, but I'm sure it's like $300 at least in PSA 10. Alright, so I hope everybody's doing well. It has been a while since I recorded a video. I've been working away at the e-commerce thing, taking photos and updating prices. I tell you, updating prices is like a full-time job, because you know they change a fair bit on like Blowout, and that's kind of who I use to base my pricing on. Of course, always beating them, but you know they change their prices based on market situation, and the market changes based on basically like what's happening in the leagues. So baseball playoffs are here. The season is over. I don't know when they start. Maybe they start next week. Maybe, no, they must start this week. I don't know exactly what, but they have the extended playoffs this year, and so there's a lot of teams, and there will be a lot more like series played this year as opposed to any prior year, so that's pretty interesting. It's funny, baseball cards I feel like have been fairly dead. Like if you look at you know, kind of what's hot in each of the sports cards markets. You know, basketball stuff has generally been going down, except for guys who are still in the playoffs. And there's a lot of their cards that are going down too. Take a look at these Dante's as we oh man, I'm just flipping over. So yeah, baseball has been fairly dead in my view. You know, there's just not enough playing games for guys to go on, you know, streaks that I think are gonna induce the hobby to buy up all their cards. So yeah, I feel like there's like nothing in baseball that's super hot. Soto's been doing really well. Acuna has been okay. He's been injured, you know, a good part of the season, so that hampered his performance. And Tatis and Luis Robert, who were the big hot, you know, young rookies / second-year players that were, you know, on fire for the beginning of the season. They really slowed down, and so their cards are down. So there's really nobody who's like super hot hobby-wise in baseball. So that's kind of a bummer, I feel. All right, well, well, I'm gonna cut off there. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We will catch you all later, and yeah, please check out hotcardboard.com and see if there's anything you'd like, and if you have questions, let me know. If there's things you'd like to see on there for sale, especially older stuff, which I haven't gotten around to posting yet, please let me know. If there's things you'd like to see packs of for purchasing, let me know. If there are things, whatever that you want to see for sale, let me know. If I can get something, I will try to, but it is hard to get newer stuff, but I may have some stuff just sit around. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch y'all later. Have a great one. Bye.